welcome here as we get set for what's going to be our 18th race of the season for the NNSCRA Hersheys Cup Series non-charter series. Finally, we get this series back after 2 off weeks due to the fact that Pizza Hut X Series and Hersheys Cup Series schedules were kind of conflicting, and Pizza Hut X Series needed to take some off weeks, so we end up also having the non-charter series take some off weeks. But we're back at the place that started it all, Daytona International Speedway, our second trip to this 2.5 mile super speedway, and this should be an interesting one here tonight because we're actually racing under the lights. Our Daytona 500 was run during the daytime, so we are going to get to see these drivers during nighttime action for the first time this season in a points paying race. On the pole is going to be J Gilbert in the 8 alongside of J Ciculli in the 33. All these drivers here on the front row looking to get their first win of the season, but it's Daytona, it's a super speedway. Track position doesn't necessarily mean a thing, especially when you have the dreaded big one looming around every turn. But coming into this race, the point stands are really close, at least amongst the top 3. Kev Shearer is now the new points leader once again. He took the points lead away from Daniel Gilbert after our race a couple of weeks ago at the Springfield Mile. Caleb Farrell, who rolls off 4th tonight, is 2nd in points. He's only 4 points back, as is Daniel Gilbert. So only 4 points separate the top 3 in the standings. We'll fill you in on the rest in just a moment. Let's get the command.
Drivers, start your engines.
There's the command to fire them up. The other 2 drivers that currently come into this race in the top 5 in the point standings are Daniel Olson. He is 15 points out of the points lead. And David Culpepper right now holds the final 5th spot in the point standings. Of course, for this series, the drivers trying to get themselves into the top 5 in the points for the completion of this season to get one of the 5 vacant charters for Season 5 of Hersheys Cup Series competition. Drivers that are on the outside looking in, outside that top 5 in the points, and this is their gap back from the 5th position. Paul Minnick is 6th in the points. He is 6 points out of 5th place. Steven Gonzalez, 7th in the standings. He's 9 points out. Then you got Charles Jackson, he's 15 points out, 8th in the standings. 9th in points is Alex Miller, he is a total of 22 points out. And Stephen Pollard III is 10th in points, he's 23 points out of that 5th position in the standings. Now, one thing about these restricted plate tracks, especially Daytona and Talladega, whenever we come to them, they always seem to be considered wildcard tracks. Why? Because, like I said, this is a track where track position isn't necessarily a key factor. You've got the big one looming. Drivers are able to move from the back to the front to the back very quickly here, especially at a track like Daytona. And on top of all of that, usually it caters to the underdog, to these super speedway races. So you can never ever know what the point stands are going to look like once you leave a track like this. Keep in mind, Daniel Gilbert, the first time we were here at Daytona, won the first non-charter race here. Off, I believe I saw him rolling for 42nd place, so we'll have to see if he can go from back to front and pick up his 2nd win at Daytona of the season, 3rd of the season overall for that 4-car. 16 laps of racing, top 7 finishers will race their way into the Hersheys Cup Series charter race here a couple of nights from tonight. And the pace car will make the left-hand turn to pit road. Here we go. Rack them up, let them fly. 16 laps at Daytona. Green flag is out. J Gilbert was definitely ready for that green flag, but the only problem is he got about a car length and a half over the battle for 2nd. And getting a gap out in front of the rest of the field is not necessarily a good thing here at Daytona. 16 laps of racing, not a whole lot of time to work your way from the back to the front either, so these drivers are going to be pushing it even as early as here on lap 1. Daniel Olson driving to the bottom, trying to get the spot. It looks like he will. Daniel Olson winning at a super speedway back at Orlando, so he knows how to get around restricted plate track. Chelsea Bowles moving into 2nd place now. Seth Cole into 3rd. That inside line you can clearly see is the preferred line, the line that's going to move. Side by side between a couple of Dodge Darts. Who led the first lap? I think it was the 56. Scoring officially says it was Chelsea Bowles leading the first lap of this event. As we went to the wrong camera view, there we go. We were needing to jump up to the 79 of Seth Cole to the inside of Chelsea Bowles now for the top position. Seth Cole looking for his 2nd win of the season. Starting to see some movers and faders. A couple of drivers way up on that high line. Chris Dollerton and Noah Cars appeared to be dropping back, at least for the moment. Still side by side there between Seth Cole and Chelsea Bowles. You saw Seth Cole on the back straightaway move up and almost looked like he was pinching Chelsea Bowles into the outside wall, but what he was doing there was trying to get the side draft to get some forward momentum into 3. He finally clears the 56, and Seth Cole now out in front. Seth Cole coming into this race 15th in the points. Chelsea Bowles, on the other hand, 30th in the point standings. So Chelsea Bowles obviously would love to be able to pick up a victory, move up in the point standings here. Daniel Olson about to have a challenge from Ryan George in the 91. That would be for the 3rd position. And make the move to the inside of the 47 this time. Jordan Lopez right behind. Jordan Lopez, you know, there are a couple of drivers in this field that raced their way into the Daytona 500, the first charter race of the Hersheys Cup Series this season. Lopez is one, Daniel Gilbert another, Seth Cole, Carson Gum. I wonder when we're going to see some of those others up here. Lopez right now in 5th, Seth Cole leading this race. I see Carson Gum back there. He's around the 10th position right now, as Daniel Olson gets freight trained. Jordan Lopez is going to go by, and now here comes Ryan George. Big run down the back straightaway, but he didn't have anybody there drafting with him, so he will draft up to the bumper of Chelsea Bowles. Maybe Ryan George, Chelsea Bowles can work together against the Toyota Camry of Seth Cole to make a move here. Quarter of the way through this race. 3 wide further back. This battle up front is good, but we want to watch this. This is where the action happens. Joshua Ciculli, David Culpepper, and Quentin Moore were in a 3 wide situation coming off of turn number 4. And they're going to go 3 wide again. This time, though, Quentin Moore, who was on the outside of the 3 wide situation out of 4, is on the inside going into 1. LaPlante right behind them. Last time these drivers were on track, it was at Watkins Glen. LaPlante went to victory lane. And right now he's moving up into, I think, somewhere around the 15th position, I believe. Single file up here. All the way back through about, looks like the 12th, 13th position. As soon as I say that, they get to the tri-oval and they start breaking out double wide again. Angel Navarro has now worked his way up into the top 5. That KFC Toyota Camry trying to get up there, maybe draft with fellow Camry Seth Cole, but now he's got no friends down on the bottom. Chelsea Bowles, Ryan George working together on the outside, and whoa, Chelsea Bowles, kind of like that bubble push. Courtesy of the 91, got a big run and almost got to the inside of Seth Cole. Tried it, but just wasn't quite close enough. Field is split up. Go back there to Steven Gonzalez in the 60, who crosses the line in about, I think it's the 15th position. There's a big gap from him back to 16th place, which is Joshua Ciculli, T Deaver, and others. I don't know what exactly happened back here, but it caused, I guess, some drivers to check up. That has lost them the lead group. Now, if they can stay single file, lay down some fast laps, they will catch right back up to these guys who are racing, so that's going to also help. 16th on back to catch back up. Battle for the lead is on. Chelsea Bowles, Ryan George, those two have been working together all night, and they are going to go to the front. Passing Seth Cole and Angel Navarro. Here comes Carson Gum into the mix. Jordan Lopez. They're side by side with Daniel Olson and Sean Henley. So we've got a 2-car tandem going on in 4 different sections of our top 8. Now 3 wide for second. Seth Cole, with help from Angel Navarro, gets the lead back on the high side. And Ryan George now leaves Chelsea Bowles out to try and go for second. And he will clear for the spot. Last time by, Sean Henley was in the final Jordan Lopez rather was in the final transfer spot into the main event. And we are halfway through this race. Ryan George now the one getting the push from Chelsea Bowles. Roles were reversed a couple of laps ago. Now the question is, will Chelsea Bowles be willing to push Ryan George past the Interstate Batteries Toyota? To the inside comes Ryan George. Chelsea Bowles doesn't go with him, and Seth Cole just barely able to throw the block on the 91. That was a close call. Ryan George might have backed out of the throttle a little bit there. I think he was to the inside. I don't think he was clear, or Seth Cole was clear to come down, and I think Ryan George cut him a break. Seth Cole, former winner this season. Ryan George, on the other hand, looking for his first win, as is Angel Navarro, as is Chelsea Bowles, as is Carson Gum. Trying to remember back where Seth Cole's win came. I want to say Texas, but I don't know if that's correct or not. And it was correct. Wow. I'm getting good at this. Meanwhile, I noticed another driver that has snuck his way up here towards this front of the lead pack, and that's Steven Gonzalez. And the reason that we're focusing on him is because he comes into this race 7th in the point standings, 9 points out of that 5th position in the points. And of course, these drivers battling to get into the top 5. A winner from Charlotte, another driver that fits that category right there. SP3, Stephen Pollard III, crossing the line in around the 11th position this time by. He came into this race a total of 33 points. I'll make that 23 points back from 5th in the standings and having another solid outing. Meanwhile, up front, though, they are having a lot of difficulty trying to maneuver their way around Seth Cole, who now has wingman Angel Navarro right behind him. But Navarro dives to the inside, and this may have been a perfect setup for the 98. Now he's got Ryan George helping him, and he will clear for the lead off of turn 4. Oh, no, he won't. Oh, I thought he was coming to pit road. He will clear. Okay, I said no, he won't, because I thought he was backing off to come to pit road. It looked like he and Ryan George and others were coming to the pit lane. And now Seth Cole with the crossover tries to go back to the top position. Question is, who's going to have the preferred drafting help? And it looks like Seth Cole will. Ryan George, Steven Gonzalez now with a big run. He will try and go for 3rd. Ryan George is going to have a big run. He better do something with it. Here he comes to the inside. Steven Gonzalez, though, he's going to leave him out to dry. Gonzalez going to go 3 wide for the race lead. Can he get to the left rear? No, he can't. Ryan George clears him, and now Ryan George will have the inside line and drafting help. Now he'll go to the top position. See right there where they hit that bump on the inside line. That allows the outside line to get a bit of a run there. Seth Cole trying to drive back around on the top side. Not clear, not clear. Might be clear now because Navarro switches lanes and goes back up to help Seth Cole. No, Ryan George is still to the left rear quarter panel. He's going to get drafting help from Steven Gonzalez, Elijah Gilbert, and Sean Henley. Now if they can stay together on this inside line, they might be able to get something going. Ryan George moving up. Steven Gonzalez staying with him, and they're not quite going to be able to stay side by side with Seth Cole, who will drop back down and block that inside line. They've got to coordinate together here. They've got to work together on these straightaways, and they're all wanting to get that clean air, so they're not willing to push anyone, especially on the back straightaway. We have like 3 different lines, and that just breaks up any momentum that inside line can get. Outside line is moving though. Seth Cole using it to keep the lead. He's trying to bring fellow Toyota Camry Angel Navarro along with him, but unsuccessful at least that time through 1 and 2. Ryan George now will clear for 2nd, and now he'll try and set up Seth Cole again for 3. Here he comes to the bottom, but he doesn't have anybody right behind him. Steven Gonzalez is about a car length and a half back. Ryan George trying to do it on his own on the inside line, and he's going to hit that bump right there. And that's going to lose him momentum. Here comes LaPlante. Whoa! Ryan George up there throwing a block, and they are congested from 3rd place on back. 2 laps to go. Seth Cole shows the way. Angel Navarro in 2nd. Here comes Navarro to the bottom. This may be the perfect time to set him up. Here comes Ryan George on the bottom as well. That's going to give the inside momentum push to the inside line. Can Navarro clear Seth Cole off of 2 onto the back straightaway? He does. New race leader, the KFC Toyota. Here comes Ryan George. Big run. He's found Chelsea Bowles again. George to the top position. Chelsea Bowles moves to second. Gilbert moving into third. And now they're starting to get racy for the lead. Here's the white flag. Next time by, we end the race. Ryan George out in front, Chelsea Bowles in second. These two have worked together all night long. They may finish this evening in 1-2. Navarro tucks in third. Pole sitter Gilbert now battling with Seth Cole for fourth. Quentin Moore in that mix. Steven Gonzalez, Sean Henley, Daniel Olson. Here comes Navarro to the bottom. Here comes Chelsea Bowles to the bottom. Are they going to go 3 wide for the lead going into turn 3? Yes, they are. They're all to each other's left rears. This is going to be a crazy finish. Chelsea Bowles, Angel Navarro side by side coming out of 4. George is faded. Who's going to win this race? Bowles has the advantage on the outside line. Clears and will win here tonight at Daytona. Man, they had such difficulty for the first half of this race getting around Seth Cole, but once Seth Cole was put out of the picture, we had Navarro up front, Ryan George up front, and Chelsea Bowles finally up front in the completion of this race. Boy, hard luck has come the direction of that 56 week after week after week. Finally, Chelsea Bowles gets herself her second top 5 finish of the season with a win here tonight at Daytona International Speedway. Navarro will come home second. Ryan George, Seth Cole, Elijah Gilbert, Steven Gonzalez, and Quentin Moore will get the final transfer spot into this weekend's main event race for the Hersheys Cup Series Charter Race. Sean Henley, Daniel Olson, and Carson Gum will come up just short. They'll get top 10s though. LaPlante, last time out's winner at the Glen, will come away with 11th. Stephen Pollard III in 12th. 13th for Jordan Lopez, Trace Williams, and Cole Deaver, your top 15. What about the drivers that came in so close in that battle for the points lead? Where did they all finish? Kev Shearer finishes 24th. He came in as the points leader, and he will finish ahead of Caleb Farrell and Daniel Gilbert, who finished right behind him, 27th and 28th. So I believe, well, and again, Daniel Olson had a pretty good run. So Olson may have closed up the gap, but right now it would be Kev Shearer by, I believe, 7 points over Daniel Gilbert and 8 points over Caleb Farrell. But the question is, where would the 47 of Daniel Olson with his good run this evening come into play when he was only 15 points back from points leader Kev Shearer? Looking down through the finishing results there, looks like some drivers lost the draft. Noah Cars, Nick Guenther, Alex Miller, and James Richardson, but we ran all 16 laps under green flag conditions, and all 42 cars finished out today's race on the lead lap. So that is going to do it here tonight from Daytona. Hope you enjoyed tonight's race. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and come out with the crew today. Chelsea Bowles picks up her first win of the season in the Hersheys Cup Series non-charter series. Up next is the Pizza X Series and the Hersheys Cup Series main event, as the chase for the championship in both those series continues to draw ever closer. We'll see you guys next time as you've been watching Production SCRA Offline Racing at its best.